Hi friends, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And what I have for you today is the very first video of 2024. So I want to start out by wishing everyone a very happy new year. And I hope this year brings to you everything you need, everything you want, everything that you need this year to be. And I thought a good way to start out this year would be with some motivational or inspirational movies. And, you know, this is a time of the year when we've made it through the holidays and everybody's ready to kind of turn the page and start fresh. Some people make resolutions, some people don't. Either way is good, either way is fine. Do what you need to do. I personally just try to do better each year, personally just take care of myself more, be better at what I'm trying to do, whatever that may be kinder, be more compassionate, be more open. And that's just my goal for every year. And like I said, we're going to start out with 12 based on true events, and then I have 5 that I just threw in for good measure because I find them to be very motivational and inspirational. And whether you've heard of these movies or not, these are pretty popular movies, but whether you've heard of them or not, it's always a great thing to have a movie that can inspire you to keep moving forward, to get up and move, to believe in yourself, to believe in what you're doing and whatever your dreams are. So that's what the purpose of this video and these movies are. And the first one is Patch Adams. It stars Robin Williams, and I love this movie. I think it's so great. Based on a true story of a doctor who went by the name of Patch, and he has some pretty unconventional beliefs about how he connects with and helps heal patients. And he does it through the use of humor. And he really believes that the way to get to the heart and soul of a patient is through connecting with them by using humor. And his methods were seen as very unconventional, and much to the dismay of all his supervisors, superiors, whatever, he just kept on doing what he believed in because he had a vision for what he wanted his future medical practices to be, what he wanted his relationship with his patients to be. And if you have not seen this movie, please give it a look, because it's going to hit you in all the right feels. And if this doesn't motivate people, I don't know what will, because I think this is just fantastic. So Patch Adams had to be the first one on my list. Now this next one, also based on a true story, stars Will Smith, and he plays a gentleman by the name of Chris Gardner, and it is The Pursuit of Happiness. And Chris finds himself in a position of being a single father when the mother of his child walks out on them, and he has to find a way to provide for himself and his son. And he needs a better job, he needs income, he needs all the things that we need to survive, and he has to also provide for his young son besides himself. And this is a super inspirational story. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I think Will Smith is actually fantastic in this one. And basically what he is he wants to get onto into the finance world, Wall Street, things like that, but he doesn't really have any kind of training or any kind of licenses and things like that. So it's really a tough road for him, but he has to continue to just believe in himself, and he has to get his young son to believe that he is going to get to a place where he can take care of both of them. And this is a really great film, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but if you need a little push to maybe start something new or start something fresh, and you're starting from ground zero, check out The Pursuit of Happiness, because I think you'll be a little bit inspired to just keep on moving forward. And this next one is the story of Brian Stevenson. It stars Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson in Just Mercy. And Brian was a Harvard graduate lawyer who decided to move down to the state of Alabama and work with gentlemen who were on death row, and who he believed that he could help them. He believed he could help them overturn their convictions. And this really focuses on one case in particular where Jamie Foxx plays the defendant, and he really believes that this man is innocent, and he goes about it to prove his innocence and get this death row conviction overturned in a state where that just was not happening at this time. And this is a really amazing story, and Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, everybody, Brie Larson, everyone is fantastic in this. So if you have not seen Just Mercy, please give it a look, because it's a really good one. And what a great guy doing what he does. He's very committed to what he does. And this next one is the story of Desmond Doss, and this is Hacksaw Ridge. And Desmond Doss was a guy who signed up for the military, went into the military, and it was during World War II. And he went in as a medic. He was also a man of faith, and he did not believe that his role there was to take life. He believed that his contribution to his country was to help save people and to heal people. And he decided, against the recommendations of his superiors, that he was going to go in without a weapon. He was not going to use a weapon because he did not believe in taking life no matter what. And he stuck to his convictions, and this is his story. If you have not seen this, this is absolutely amazing. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it, but Andrew Garfield is fantastic in the lead role. And yeah, just watch it. Hacksaw Ridge is really great. And this is a great story about just standing true to who you are, whatever that means. Whatever your convictions are, stay true to you and do what you think is right. And Hacksaw Ridge is a fantastic example of that. And this next one is it's a great historical sports movie, and it is the story of Jackie Robinson. It stars Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford, and the movie is 42. If you don't know the story of Jackie Robinson, he was the first Black American to be put in the Major League Baseball, and he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1946. When that just wasn't happening. And this is the story, and if you don't know Jackie Robinson's story, just watch this. It is amazing. And Chadwick Boseman is fantastic in this role. He is outstanding. He's outstanding in everything, but he was really, really good in this one. So check out 42 if you want a really great inspirational, motivational sports story. It's excellent. And we're sticking with a sports story here. Okay, this is the one after this is not sports, but this one is. And I just love this one. I think it's great, and it stars Mark Wahlberg, and it is Invincible. And I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this. If not, you've probably heard of it. It is based on the true story of 30-year-old Vince Papale. I believe it's Papale. And he was a 30-year-old bartender down in Philadelphia, and the Philadelphia Eagles did something that they had never done before, and they invited everyone to do open walk-ons. So like anyone could go and try out for the Philadelphia Eagles, and his friends convince him that they think he is good enough to play for the Eagles, and he has no college football experience, nothing like that. He's just a really good football player. So he decides to do walk-on tryouts, and this is his story, and this is really great. It's a get up and cheer movie, and it's a movie about just, again, believing in yourself and believing in your dreams, no matter how high they are. Just go for it. And this, among other things, has a really amazing soundtrack. So I have the soundtrack on my phone. So I love the soundtrack. I love the movie. I love the story. So if you want to know about Vince Papale, check this one out. And it's a good one. It won't disappoint you. Now this one is a little more serious. It's a lot more serious. And I feel like this one is very important to me personally for different reasons. And it is called Dark Waters. It's a Todd Haynes film. It stars Mark Ruffalo, Anne Hathaway, Tim Robbins, and Bill Pullman. And Mark Ruffalo plays a guy by the name of Rob Bilott, and he is an attorney. He's a corporate attorney, and he is a defendant of he defends big corporations when they are accused of various misdoings, such as maybe chemical dumping or things like that, or misuse of certain things, whatever it may be. He is on the side of the corporations. And there comes a point when he is approached by someone who is a friend of his grandma's, and he said that he sought him out because of his, the guy is friends with his grandmother, and he sought him out because he knew he was in corporate law, and he wants him to help him because he believes that a certain company that I'm not going to say has been poisoning the land or the water or whatever around him and killing his livestock. And what I'm going to say is everyone needs to watch this movie because it's all true. You can Google it, look it up. It's all true, and it affects every one of us because there are companies, one in particular that's highlighted in this movie that I'm not going to say by name, but they have been poisoning the environment and continue to poison the environment over and over and over. And this just shows how corporations don't protect us, the government doesn't protect us, laws don't protect us, and it's up to us to protect ourselves by getting the right information. And we depend on people like Rob Bilott to fight for us and fight for our safety and fight for our freedoms. And this is just an amazing, amazing, important story, and it is still ongoing today. So definitely put Dark Waters on your list of films to watch because it's super important, and everyone needs to see this movie. You'll understand when you see it. And this next one is called Awakenings, and it stars Robert De Niro and Robin Williams. And Robin Williams plays a gentleman by the name of Dr. Sayer, and he goes to work at an institution where he's going to be working with various groups of patients that he is not familiar with. He's in a new environment. Everything he's doing is brand new to him, and he ends up working with this group of patients who have been in what they refer to as a catatonic state, where they're alive, but they don't make eye contact, they don't speak, nothing. They're just there. And he believes, Dr. Sayer believes, that the people are there, that there's something inside that they can be reached if they use the right medications or the right techniques. He's not sure. And he just keeps trying over and over and over again to reach these patients because he believes that there is a living, breathing, functional human being behind that catatonic state. It's just a matter of how do we reach them. And I don't want to get into what happens because if you haven't seen this, it's a pretty amazing story. But he just keeps at it and at it and at it because he believes that there is something behind the faces of these people who have basically just been forgotten about. And it's a pretty amazing story. So if you haven't seen Awakenings, definitely give it a look. It's really, really good. And this next one also stars Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr., and it is called Men of Honor. And this is a story of Carl Bashir, who is a man of color who wanted to become a U.S. Navy master diver at a time when that just didn't happen. Men of color did not go for that position, but he is just determined that that is the job that he wants to do in the Navy. Unfortunately, first of all, the training is hard enough, and these suits that they had to wear were just incredibly, incredibly heavy. Like, you can't even imagine how they moved around in them. And unfortunately for him, he is also under the supervision of just like this ruthless, Robert De Niro is absolutely ruthless. He's a ruthless supervisor, and no matter what Carl Bashir does to prove himself to him, he is not going to have it. There is no way he is going to allow him to attain the level of Navy Master Diver. And this is the story, and this is the struggle, and this is what he went through to try to gain that position that he wanted. And it is an amazing, amazing story. If you haven't seen this movie, please put it high on your list. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. I think it's because it's a little older. I think it was from 2000, but it's a really incredible story. And again, it's based on a true story, based on true events, and really, really super inspirational. You will never give up after you watch that one. It's amazing. And this one I have talked about before because I just think this is an incredible story. And this guy continues to live over in exile. I believe he's still in Russia. This is, there's a documentary about him, but this is the biopic about Edward Snowden. It is called Snowden. And basically, he was the first person to let the American people know that the government was basically spying on private citizens through our computers, through our phones, any electronic devices you can think of. They track us, they spy on us, they collect information about us. And he figured this out through his job. He was a computer guy, and he figured it out through his job that like the webcams on your computer, the GPS in your car, anything, they're always listening and watching. And things like when you walk by something in a store and all of a sudden it shows up on your feed as an ad, they are always watching us. And he wanted to alert the American people because he said this was illegal, that the government doesn't have the right to spy on private citizens through these electronic devices. And because of what he did, he is now living in exile, and no matter how many times they have tried to get presidents and people to bring him back, no one will bring him back. And I think what he did was absolutely incredible, and he deserves to be brought home because he's a hero for what he let us know. But no one's going to stand by him. So definitely check out this movie. It's an amazing story. And also check out Citizen 4, which is the documentary about Edward Snowden. He's an amazing guy. And this next one is about a guy by the name of Ken Carter, and it is called Coach Carter. It stars Samuel L. Jackson, based on the true story. Samuel Jackson plays Ken Carter, who goes back to his alma mater high school, where he is going to be the basketball coach, and he gets his team going, gets the guys up to snuff, but he also has an educational contract with them where they have to go to class. They have to keep their grades up because some of them are problem kids where they're not doing what they need to do in school. All they are concerned about is their sports and their extracurricular activities. And he's like, you don't have the right to play basketball or do anything unless you keep your grades up and you do certain things. So he gets his team to the point where they are undefeated, and the kids, he finds out that the kids are not keeping their grades up. They're not doing the things that they agreed to in their contract. And he locks them out of the gym and will not let them practice, will not let them play, will not let them do anything to do with basketball until every one of them brings their grades up, goes to class, and everything they need to do. And it was a big controversy. Like, it was in the news and everything. So this is a really amazing story about a really important man who just wanted to make sure that these kids were graduating with an education where they could actually have a fruitful life. And the last one that's based on true events stars Mark Wahlberg, and it is Lone Survivor. And Mark Wahlberg plays Marcus Luttrell, who was part of the U.S. Navy SEALs. And he is one of 4 who were sent out on a mission in 2005 to capture one of the main guys in the Taliban. And as you know, as you can tell from the title, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler in and of itself, and I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, but he ends up being one who is left to survive on his own. But you see what these guys go through to do these missions and to protect us, to protect our freedoms, to protect us from harm. And what these 4 guys go through to try and accomplish this mission is nothing short of amazing. And then what he has to do to survive is just, it's a miracle. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, I highly recommend this. I put off seeing this movie for quite some time because I was afraid that it was going to be just like one guy on a hill and it was going to be really boring. It is anything but boring. This is amazing. And I would watch this anytime, any day with anyone. So, this is one that I would say, if you haven't seen Lone Survivor, definitely put it high on your list because it's really an amazing story. And I keep saying amazing because it is amazing. They're all amazing. So those are the ones that are based on true events. And then I just have 5 quick ones for good measure. Just if you need a little extra push, put in any one of these and it'll do it. The first one, I mean, come on, Rocky. If you can't get going with Rocky, nothing's going to get you going, especially if one of your goals is to work out, get fit, whatever. Put on the Rocky soundtrack, put on the Rocky movie, and you will work out, I promise you. Now, if you're into music, what better one than Whiplash? I mean, come on, this is an amazing movie about a kid who just wants to be a drummer, and you will stand up and cheer for this kid. So if your dream is music and you can't bring yourself to get your practicing in, or you can't do what you need to do, watch Whiplash. You'll practice. It's awesome. And this is one about standing up for the underdog, and whether you believe in them or not, or if you have different beliefs, do the right thing. And this is a very moving story. It's a tough story, but it's an amazing movie. It is Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington in Philadelphia, and Tom Hanks plays a lawyer. They're both lawyers, but Tom Hanks plays a lawyer who has AIDS, and his firm wants to get rid of him and not help him with any medical coverage and no help for being able to get the treatment that he needs to survive as long as he can. And Denzel Washington plays an attorney who wants nothing to do with it and is eventually convinced to do the right thing, stand up for what's right. And this is an amazing, touching, moving movie. And at the time when it came out, it was really important, and that this type of story was told. It's still important because this could apply to anything, any kind of disability. But definitely watch Philadelphia. And this one is just a great movie about a family coming together to support their young son who has some facial deformities, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. It stars Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson, and Jacob Tremblay in Wonder. And this is just such a touching movie about a little boy who just wants to go to school and fit in, but he has some issues with, he was born with, I guess, birth defects, and he wears a helmet, and he just wants to go to school. They'd been homeschooling him, and they'd go to send him to school, and this is the story about how what he has to go through to acclimate in a school environment with other kids his age and just be a normal little boy. And this is going to make you laugh, it's going to make you smile, it's also going to make you cry, but it's a really inspirational movie. So check out Wonder. Okay, so that's it. That is my last motivational, inspirational movie for today to get us started for 2024, get us off on the right foot. Hopefully you found a few titles that either you haven't seen or you haven't seen in a while, and you're going to pop them in to get yourself up and get yourself going and off to a good start in the new year. And I want to thank you, as always, each and every one of you, for taking time out of your day to watch these videos. You know I appreciate all of you. Feel free to leave me any comments, suggestions, recommendations you want to leave down in the comment section. If you like things like this, recommendations, collections, haul videos, reviews, room tours, the whole thing. We do all the things, anything physical media, we do it here. Feel free to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going to upload again. I will be posting my schedule over on the community tab, so you can look for that probably tomorrow. And that's going to do it for me today. So I'm going to go upstairs and have my New Year's Day homemade pizza and play with the girls. And that's going to do it for me today. So for now, that's a wrap.